I think there's something around going and connecting through the movement that you're doing. So you're all there for a reason. You've signed up, you've decided to do it. So it's not like work where you've got to go.
Yeah.
Or school or uni, where you've got to go. This is something that you have voluntarily gone, right, I want to do this because I know it's going to make me feel good. And then the other people in the room have made the same decision. So you've got a connection by virtue of that, haven't you?
Yeah. Welcome to Let's Be Friends, a podcast about women's friendships. I'm Izzy, and a very warm welcome to my guest Katia, who's here to talk to us about yoga and exercise classes. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks. So you run an organisation called Yoga Reading. Would you be happy to tell me a bit more about what Yoga Reading is and what it does?
Yeah, absolutely. So we set up formally in 2017, although we'd been teaching classes in and around Caversham, myself and another teacher. And really, we set up out of necessity in that the place that we were teaching in was bought to be turned into flats.
Oh,
surprise,
no.
surprise.
Yeah.
For Reading. And so we found this space in an industrial unit on Cromwell Road. So it's near where the newspapers used to be made when the Reading Chronicle was all in print. And the deal was that they wanted to rent it to us on a month-by-month basis. So it was a much bigger rent than we'd been used to paying. So we found the space, we agreed the space, and we quickly decided that we needed to work with other teachers. So it was a teacher collaboration, first and foremost, that grew out of our love of providing Ashtanga yoga into the area. But since then it's grown a lot, as you know, and it's now out of the ethos of movement for life. So I'm really passionate about people moving more and having access to lots of different types of movement, and this is where the teacher collaboration has really come into its own, because there are lots of different styles of yoga, there are lots of different styles of movement. So we now also offer Pilates and strength, and we do workshops about all different types of health and well-being activities and education as well, so information. And it grew out of that sort of just providing a few yoga classes a week to suddenly now providing, we have 23 classes a week.
That's a lot.
And we have workshops every month, like I said. So we've got a workshop coming up about sleep. We've got a workshop coming up about the inner critic, which is a clinical psychologist, being led by a clinical psychologist.
Interesting.
So although first and foremost we're offering movement classes on a weekly basis, actually we tackle well-being from all different angles, and that's what we've become. But I think the reason for telling you about the collaborative of teachers, or the collaboration of a group of teachers, is that it's not being led by, we want to run a studio and make loads of money. It's like, no, we want to work together as movement educators or well-being educators, and we're passionate about sharing the things that have transformed our lives.
Yeah, brilliant.
So.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and I've definitely noticed as a regular at Yoga Reading that there is just that huge variety on offer, which I think is great. There's sort of something for everyone, and even you can try things that you're not sure if it will be for you.
Exactly, and that's what I love. It's like, you don't know until you try it. And also life changes, doesn't it? You need different things at different points.
Absolutely.
So sometimes what you need is one of our sound baths, just to come and totally relax. Changes in season can be difficult. So like now we really notice a change in classes. It's darker, it's colder. This morning was noticeably different from other mornings recently. It was much colder, a real chill in the air, a bit of frost on cars, some people were saying. So you kind of want to come into a nice warm place and move and feel a bit more kind of relaxed in your body.
Yeah, I always find my energy levels are really dipping at this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think has been the effect of that kind of collaborative approach then, rather than a more top-down?
Well, I definitely think we've built some really strong relationships between the team, who are all female. It is all female teachers at the moment. It hasn't always been, and I, you know, really welcome teachers from all walks of life, and, you know, to come and join us, because it's great to have that diversity. But there are now a few of us who've worked together really from the beginning, so 2017. So some, you know, 8 years, 9 years, kind of.
Oh, it's a long time.
And in that, you understand what the other person offers professionally, but you also know them kind of, I suppose, personally, but you know their character, and so you're very much able to say, well, this person might really be able to offer something that would work for you right now. Or professionally speaking, we have an osteopath on the team, so if someone's saying, oh, this doesn't feel good, and you see them, you know, for several weeks saying, this still doesn't feel good, this hip, you know, it's like, right, go see Julia, get an appointment, get her to fully assess what's going on, and then give you a movement plan going forwards. And that can also feed in to the work that you do with me, if you're happy to share the information that she gives you. You know, so I think there's some real linking up that you don't necessarily get in a gym or a space where people are coming, teaching their class, going. And you actually don't know who the person is that taught the class before you. Whereas we know each other, we know the schedule, we all contribute to the workshops that we want to have on the schedule, that we want to share with our students. So
it becomes a more sort of holistic approach to your overall exercise rather than just bits and pieces kind of thing.
Yeah, that's my hope, definitely. I mean, it's interesting because you still see students stay with a teacher. You know, people do like a certain style of movement, or they like a certain way of teaching, and I totally respect that. I get it. There's a reassurance, isn't there, in seeing the same person and your movement journey moving with that teacher. But like I say, when you've got different circumstances in life, or something changes in your body, or you know, you just want to try something a bit different, it's lovely to have that all under one roof and in one group of collegiate professionals.
And the different times of day as well. I mean, as I say, for me, the mornings are not going to work, but for some people that's ideal.
Keep trying to get you to come to a morning class.
It's not going to happen. For me, the lunchtime is my morning class. That's my first thing I'm doing that day.
No, fair enough. You know, you're not the only one like that. Absolutely, people work different times. We have a couple of people who work in different time zones with different countries, so they very much work into the night. So their lunchtime is the beginning of their day. So
it makes sense.
It happens, doesn't it?
I think it's really interesting as well. Obviously nowadays there's a lot more you know, for example, you can go on YouTube and watch a free exercise class, but it's still so popular and there's so much take-up of these in-person classes. What do you think it is about kind of getting together in person to exercise that people enjoy so much?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. So obviously, over the pandemic, we saw a huge rise in online classes. Both live, so people watching a class as it's happening and taking part, or pre-recorded.
Because you've got an online option as well.
We do both, exactly. So people asked us to keep our online option after COVID, because they really enjoy not having to fight the traffic to get to us. Particularly, we see an increase on, for example, Friday night, where people just want to be at home but still do. And also we do a yin practice, which is a very calming, restful, fantastic way to end the week. So there's definitely benefits to it, but what I'm seeing now, I would say, both in our beginners courses and also in the numbers that are joining us online or using our on-demand library, because we also we do have pre-recorded videos that people can sign up to, is a definite drop in the numbers of people who are choosing to do that and to use the online content, but an increase in people that are joining our beginners courses and classes and saying, I just want you to check that I'm doing this right. So I think there's an anxiety in watching pre-recorded videos that actually I might not be quite understanding it, and it's moving quickly.
And I definitely feel like that with the strength class, because I'm new to using weights and I feel a lot more confident, relaxed coming to your class, and you're watching me and giving me feedback, and I'm like, good. I feel, obviously you always might injure yourself if you're exercising, it's always a possibility, but I feel a lot safer and more confident getting that kind of feedback as I go, because it is new to me and I don't know what I'm doing yet, really.
So I think it's that coaching element where you kind of feel like it's a two-way relationship, and actually you're getting value there because someone is seeing how that's landing in your body. Some people as well, I think it's they've been doing it for a long time at home, and actually they want the variety. They want to be able to get away from the videos they always go to and watch. And then there's got to be that third part of, like, they want to come to a space where there's other people. People directly said that to me. They're like, oh, I don't, I just want to be away from my house or my, everything else that's going on. And it's coming into, somewhere that you're not responsible for having to clean under the cupboards and go in your house trying to do stuff. So I think it's a mixture of those things. I think it's a mixture of making sure you're doing it right, trying to work against getting an injury, which could happen if you haven't got someone watching you, that connection with a teacher and a coach, so that you really feel like you're getting the most out of your movement practice, and then that connection with other people where you don't even have to talk to them, do you? But you're in a room.
I think it can be very motivating, or kind of being with other people who are doing the same thing at the same time. Yeah,
that's a good word, motivate, motivation.
And then you see other people doing it and they're finding it difficult, but they're doing it, and you're like, oh, I'm finding it difficult and I can do it.
So reassurance as well. So I think you're right, you've got that, both sides of it, haven't you? Reassurance that other people are in it with you, and the motivation and the inspiration, like, oh wow, look at what they're doing. Oh, maybe I can try that.
And also you hear people saying, like, oh, I didn't used to be able to do this and now I can do it, and you think, oh well, I can't do it now, but maybe one day.
Absolutely.
I think it's a very, I find it a very positive space as well, especially all of the classes really. I think everybody's very encouraging, and it's not like a competitive sort of environment, which I appreciate. It's much more like, friendly and supportive, I guess.
I think certainly having started with yoga, it kind of lends itself to that, because you might have noticed that we don't have any mirrors or anything like that up in the main studio. And that's because it isn't about the outward look of things. Like, of course, a teacher can check your alignment and can make suggestions that might be healthier for joints. But it is meant to be cultivating your sense of self from the inside out. Kind of, how does this feel? Am I breathing? Am I moving, without pain, without strain? And certainly the yoga classes are looking to really get your inner, your proprioception, your interoception to the forefront. And Pilates as well, it's about breathing in a certain way, thinking about whether things are stacked, and whether you're engaging the area that you should be engaging. They're and I think that's where the learning is. It isn't so much about the outward projection of how big your muscles look, which perhaps if you come from a different discipline, maybe that there are some other goals that are mixed in. First and foremost, it's about this connection, like you say, connection to self, connection to changing your state. So you might arrive being like, oh, I'm so frustrated, but it's like, well, how can you soften? How can you balance that out? How can you find space in that, within the frustration, or whatever it is that you bring with you? But so it I think it does create a space that feels inclusive, and that's certainly my hope. A space that's welcoming, where you can try things, and then of course I think it's the other people that come that help support that message. So if you've got a teacher that's going, come on, let's try it, we've never done it before, but let's try it, and it's okay to wobble, and to, like, it's not about perfection, and it's not about performance. It's about building little bit by little bit a greater brain body map of yourself. Like, where is my little finger? Where's my little toe? Like, what happens if I change and stand on one leg? It's playful.
Yes.
But you're right that then you've got other students who are going, I didn't used to be able to balance on one leg, but now I can.
Yeah. And do you find that, have you heard of people forming sort of more long-term friendships or meeting up outside of the classes from having met there? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We have people that come, they greet each other when they come in, they stand up, after class they have a long chat, and I know that they do stuff, like lots of us do things. We went to a poetry night around the corner at South Street, a few of us. The Ashtanga, there's quite a big Ashtanga community, which is it's a type of yoga. And that's because that's a very regular practice. So people are practicing 4, 5, 6 times a week with each other.
Okay.
So I think quite naturally, and then they'll go away on retreat together, and so quite naturally there's after Saturday class, shall we go for coffee in Caversham? Like, it does happen.
That's really nice.
Which is really lovely. It lends itself to that. And we always have socials at the studio. We try and have them a few times a year, which is like come and have some food and, come and meet each other, which does also extend that sense of community. The only downside for our space, which, as you know, is we don't have like a communal seating area. It's like you come up, the studio's there, there's the changing rooms, but that is it. So you can stand in the hallway and chat, but then obviously other people are trying to come up. The class.
No, I'm always there like tying my shoes at the side.
Exactly. We spend this whole time doing that. Excuse me. But, that's just... the space that we've got, and it's hard to find spaces at a premium, as we know. So
definitely.
But certainly we do things together, out and about and in the parks, and it does lend itself to friendships that go outside of the studio.
That's really nice. And I think some of the more like those workshops and things as well, you really get to know. Sometimes, like, because I went to like a sleep one and the strength immersion day and things like that, and you are kind of sharing your personal goals and struggles and things, so you do kind of get to know people quite quickly, I think, through those kinds of days.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's the kind of teachers that we are as well. It's like, well, for me, it brings things to life if you can give someone an example of something. So, if you're talking about strength, for example, and, talking about my own experience where I used to do a lot of it and then stopped and focused on yoga, and then actually found that things weren't feeling so good, and it was detrimental to my yoga practice because I was getting to the point where I was starting to work on lifts and inversions and things that are quite demanding on the body, and actually joints were sort of saying, well, this doesn't feel great. And actually it was by adding kettlebells back in, other strength stuff, but particularly I use kettlebells, it's helped give integrity back into the joint structure, which then means that I'm able to move pain-free, I'm able to lift, I'm able to do things that were starting to feel a bit clunky. Being able to share that with people, it's like, I'm not superhuman, I don't, and you don't always get it right in your own life journey, don't you? You sometimes things drop by the side because we're all juggling so many balls, aren't we? But it's the fact that you can notice and that you can say, oh, I'm going to try and change this.
Well, I think that's been a thing for me because obviously I'm a regular netballer. And netball is great, great cardio, great in many ways. Explosive.
Like, it's good for the plyometrics.
But it is quite risky on the joints, especially if you don't have the muscle to support that. And I was just playing netball for a long time, and I'm hypermobile as well, so I was just constantly injuring my ankles, and now I wear ankle braces every time that I play as well. But also I'm like, I need to build some muscle here, like I need to protect my body as well.
Absolutely. And there's much greater awareness now as well for women and strength training and the multifaceted benefits of doing that at all ages, but there's talk around perimenopause and menopause, isn't there? And like you say, the integrity of your joints, but also the your bone structure, your bone density. Lots of reasons why we should be lifting heavy things, and heavier than we think we should be lifting.
Yeah. Well, and that's been a good thing with the class, as I say, with getting the confidence. I'm like, okay, I will try this heavier weight. You know, when if I was at home, I'd probably be more cautious because I'm unsure about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've noticed that the classes, the strength class especially, I think so far it's been all women, apart from maybe a man virtually.
And that is probably a reflection of the fact that we have more female members than we have male. And maybe the men don't feel that they would go to their yoga studio for their strength training. Don't know that they would already be going to the gym.
Could be.
And I don't think they struggle so much with the idea of lifting heavy. Whereas we, you know, that has been quite interesting, saying, right, come on, let's use 8 kg, let's use 10 kg. You know, we could be moving up. As well. You know, to higher weights.
Yeah, I guess definitely it's changing recently, but there has been a kind of cultural discouragement of weightlifting for women, as in,
bulk up,
you'll get bulky, which is really troubling when you dig into it. It's like, you'll become healthier and more capable, sort of worrying messaging. But really I guess it's like we're in starting to lift weights, you are kind of going against something that you've been told, so it's nice to have that extra support from a trainer while you do it, whereas maybe if it's been encouraged when you were younger, you're like, I'll just go to the gym and do it on my own, I'm not fussed about that. I don't know, maybe. Yeah,
you're right. I don't know, it's very interesting really, isn't it, that is definitely the guys that I see come to the yoga classes I don't see come to the strength class. It could be the time of day, you know, it's a lunchtime
it's
day.
only one class, so
and we don't really have enough to particularly read into that data. But but I do think it is really important for yogis, and that's something I feel very passionate about, and I've seen through my own yoga journey, is that yoga on its own is not enough. You do need to be doing other things to balance out the body, and the body thrives on change. The body thrives on input, the brain thrives on input. So it's great training with body weight, which is predominantly yoga is body weight. Pilates, obviously, they do tend to use hand weights, and they have contraptions that you can put between your knees, and they're big Pilates balls, so they are known for having other props that put different load into the body. But then suddenly adding, barbells or kettlebells or whatever it is, that weight really gives the brain a lot to think about. And then, like, can I do a squat or a lunge with integrity whilst holding weight? Like, the brain loves it. The brain's like, oh my God, what's this new stuff? And and you see progress quite quickly, even though it feels hard in the moment.
Yeah. Well, that was a really interesting thing that I learnt from the Strength Immersion Day, was how you quickly become more capable before you even build muscle, because your brain is forming those connections. It's definitely something I've noticed, especially with the over, when you're lying on your back and you're overhead, I couldn't get it to the floor and up again, and now I can. I haven't been going for very long, so I doubt I've put on that much muscle. But it's like my brain has figured it out.
Thing. It's a brain, because as well, think about the fact that you can't see it. So the brain doesn't like stuff that it can't, it's one of the senses is suddenly taken out of it, and so it's fine up here, but then suddenly you're going to your overhead position. So it's great. It's like walking backwards. Walking backwards is really, really good for us, because the brain is very playful, but the brain also has to compute a whole load of extra information without using the eyes.
I'm going to have to try a bit of backwards walking.
It's fantastic for you. Really good.
Well, it's good. I think I've noticed as well, mixing in things like yoga and these things has all then been good for my netball as well, because like, I'll do things, I mean, it's not really necessarily yoga, but I'll do things like just weird balances while I brush my teeth and things like that. And that has, or I might do like a tree pose, like that kind of stuff has made my netball a lot better, because my balance is better. And then you've just got more time to, because you can only do like one step, another step, and then you can't take another step while you're holding the ball. So if you've got the balance, you can stay. If you haven't, you take the third step.
Absolutely. So, got to be able to stop.
So I feel like it definitely, that kind of brain muscle connection is all, it definitely has knock-on effects to other areas of your life, I think.
Lots of people have said that. Lots of people they see it so they see the strength in their yoga practice. So suddenly they can do crow, or they can do some of the balances, headstand, or and they're like, well, the only thing that's changed is I've added some strength into the week. And like you say, it's not per se that they've laid down suddenly a load of muscle, but it's that the brain's kind of gone, oh, okay, that's how I find that shoulder blade engagement. Okay, now I'm going to allow you to go upside down on your head without catastrophizing, and because the brain's job is to protect the body, and to protect the vital organs, of which the brain is like pretty high up there on its list.
You need your brain.
So to suddenly be like putting your whole body weight on your head, the brain is like, what are you doing? But if you can reassure it by doing your rowing, your lap pull over, exactly all those sorts of things, it can be like, oh, okay, now I'm happy that those shoulders can help me. And actually it's an arm balance, not everything on the head.
Headstand is not just you're on your head with no,
it's very badly named. It's actually an arm balance.
Oh, interesting.
So.
I wonder if part of the reason as well that these classes are popular with women is that they are social, and not that men don't like to get together with other men. I'm not going to speak for men, but I feel like me and a lot of my female friends, we like to go to a class and be around other people, be around other women, and kind of, I don't know, there is that, like social netball and things like that. I think those things are, I don't know, they're very appealing to a lot of the women that I know.
Yeah, it could well be a sense of sorority. How do you say that?
Sorority.
Sisterhood.
Yeah.
And sort of connection that is wider than just going home to your partner, or going home to the house, your flatmates, or whatever. Maybe it is that sort of, there's this idea of the third space, isn't it? So it's not work, it's not home, it's a social place where you can feel at home, and you can, I think there's something about going and connecting through the movement that you're doing. So you're all there for a reason. You've signed up, you've decided to do it, so it's not like work where you've got to go. Or school, or where you've got to go. This is something that you have voluntarily gone, right, I want to do this because I know it's going to make me feel good, and then the other people in the room have made the same decision, so you've got a connection by virtue of that, haven't you?
Yes, I actually think that is a major thing. I think there's being around specifically women who are doing something for themselves, I think is always very reassuring, because I think there can be a lot of pressure, especially probably on mothers and more on older women than on women my age without children, where it's like there's this pressure of like your life must be for other people primarily. So I think there's something reassuring about being around women, including for me older women who are still doing something for them, for their own well-being and their own enjoyment and things like that, being like, oh yes, my life is not on a one track to just become focused on
provider,
exactly,
carer. It's really important, definitely. I suppose it's different from the netball that you were describing earlier, where that's a team. You're very much clearly working together to try and achieve something, which is as many goals as possible, I assume. Whereas this is more like working on yourself and your own personal improvement, but surrounded by people who are also working on themselves. So this idea of kind of like you're working on your own life, you're working on feeling better, you're working on feeling calmer, you're working on, but you're in the support of other people who are on the same quest, if you like. And I suppose, they've also made a choice to prioritise that in everyone, in a busy life.
Which I think is in and of itself a healthy practice, even before you start the exercise, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a cliche, but I often say to people, you've already done the hardest thing by turning up. And it's, whether you're new, the hardest thing is walking into a place when you've not been there before. It's really difficult, because you're like, well, I don't know what they're going to make me do. Everyone's going to know more than I do. I'm going to feel silly. There's all sorts of barriers, isn't there, to walking into class.
Definitely.
But seeing the people who have done that, prioritised it, decided to come on a Monday at 9:30 in the morning, to set their week up. I always find it really gratifying, really humbling, because I know everyone is so busy. You know, I do really get it. Like, people are juggling so much.
Absolutely.
And the external pressures on us all are huge. It's very easy to drop that class, to be like, oh, I just don't have time. This week is, you know, or even, you know, on a Monday, this week is just going to be too busy. I already can't cope. I'm just going to get in the car and go straight to work.
Definitely.
But I can promise you that you know, there isn't one person who doesn't say, oh, I feel better for having done that, for having taken that hour for themselves.
No, it's so important, because obviously we've been talking a lot about how exercise is really beneficial in lots of different ways. Do you think there's a kind of wider or more long-term effect on people's social lives just from the fact that they're doing regular exercise?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think I mean, a key thing is, once you create it into a routine, it's much easier, because the expectation is Monday 9:30. That's where I go. I get in the car. I've had my breakfast. I've done what I need to do, and it becomes a bit of a non-negotiable. And obviously, you feel the benefits for having done it, because you feel calmer. You feel less anxious, you feel stronger, you see those benefits in other parts of your life, so in other sports that you play, or in your interactions with the people around you, whether that's at work or whether that's at home, and then you carry on going, and there are other benefits. So you carry on going, so you get better at the skills that you're practicing, you get stronger, you can lift heavier, so it is like an ever improving, hopefully, virtuous circle.
As in, it sort of builds your confidence, because you're seeing that you can do something, follow through, and see the benefits. You're more confident in other areas as well.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, in all of the classes, strength, Pilates, yoga, all of them, there are things that when you start out, you're like, oh, I'll never be able to do that. You know, that's... Or I find this really difficult, you know, this move is really difficult, I'm going to do it without a weight, or I'm just going to use a really little weight. And then, you know, 3 months down the line, or it might take longer, some skills take longer, but you're suddenly like, oh, actually I can do this, I can do it with ease. So, yeah, I do think that you're getting benefits in all their forms, and it goes further than the class itself. It comes out into your life, into into your relationships and the way that you interact with people. And surely it goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's that someone making the decision to prioritise themselves, even if it's for 1 hour a week. It sets some boundaries. It sets some expectations around where they are in the pecking order.
Absolutely.
And that's got to have benefits in relation to how you see yourself and how others see you.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a kind of self-respect and self-prioritisation.
I think so.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think as well, what you were saying before about when you are exercising regularly, it creating a sense of sort of calm and things like that. I think I've noticed when I've had injuries and I haven't been exercising, it definitely then means I have a lower stress tolerance for kind of everything that's going on, which I think can also then affect your relationships. I feel like when I'm exercising regularly, it's like you've got a self-respect and a boundary and a strength and a kind of that kind of thing, but also a patience for other people. I think it's quite a healthy dual thing, where it's like you're more self-preserving, but you're also got the capacity to deal with the kind of ups and downs of relationships more as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it is quite literal if you take the strength class as an example. By putting load into the body and putting the body under duress for a period of time, maybe it's 50 seconds where you're working and then 10 seconds rest, you are spiking cortisol in the body. So it is slightly counterintuitive, but you're putting a stressor into the body for a period of time. The body then has a natural response to that, which is initially to raise heartbeat, and like I say, you get this release of cortisol, but then it will respond to that by actually lowering heart rate. So the benefits that you get after the class are quite literally that your tolerance to stress, strain, cortisol is higher.
Interesting.
So it's a physiological response in the body. So it's not just a felt sense of like, oh, I'm much less ratty when I've done my yoga. It's like, no, your system is better able to cope with the stress of everyday living, of that traffic jam, or
That's really interesting. Yeah, because that is something I experienced as like a feeling of, I guess, resilience, or even like in the last class where we were holding I never remember what any of the exercises are called, the one where it's like you're hovering your knees off the floor.
Bear crawl,
where we did it for a bit and then we started to do it for a bit, did it for longer, and I was like, oh no. But then you're like, wow, I really didn't think I was going to do that, and then I did do it. I feel like without knowing the science of all of that, I was like, oh, I really feel like I have more kind of faith in my own resilience kind of thing. So it's interesting to hear the kind of chemical backdrop of what's happening there. Yeah,
so it can happen in the kind of like micro, so within a workout you could, I don't know whether you notice, but sometimes we'll do 3 rounds or 4 rounds, and the first round will be like, oh, there's no way I can do this again, and then actually sometimes, quite often, by the end of the second round you're like, oh, I'm feeling quite good now, like I've got into and then you'll feel tired again, because it pushes you quite hard. So that kind of mid boost that you get doesn't last as long as the kind of initial boost, but again, it's the body kind of gathering its different reserves using different energy sources, and the more you come week after week, that those energy resources grow, basically. So
it's really interesting.
Well,
so many benefits, really.
So many benefits, definitely.
Fantastic. I do think it's great, as we say, the social reality of being in the class, but also the kind of knock-on effect and the friendships that you can build and the skills and kind of resources, both in terms of like the self-respect and in terms of the resilience and kind of fantastic. Brilliant.
No, it's good, really, really good, and it works at all levels, like you say. So it works on the sort of felt sense of like, oh, I feel more connected, I feel, but it also, there's the physiological benefits that we were just talking about, that are happening within the body, the muscle that's being laid down, and so it's and then the social elements of like, I don't feel lonely, I don't feel isolated, which are a massive issue in our day and age.
Absolutely. 100%. Well, fantastic. Thank you. Good. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you'd like to add at all?
No, not at all. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. I will be there. I'm booked.
Very
brilliant.
Good.
Well, I'll put the link to Yoga Reading in the description.
Thank you.
And
Thanks very much.
Thank you. It's been such an interesting conversation. And thanks very much for listening and watching. There'll be new episodes of Let's Be Friends coming out on the first Wednesday of each month. So see you for the next one.